Now, let us join old Nancy, witch of Salem, and Satan, her wise black cat.
All I be today. Yes, sir, 103 years old. Satan, if these folks want to hear another of our pretty little bedtime stories, you just tell them to douse out them lights so we'll have it nice and dark. Now draw up to the fire and gaze into them, Buzz. Gaze into them deep, and soon you'll be down south with us in old Louisiana. It's strange country down there, ghost country. And outside a little railway depot there begins our yarn about Graveyard Mansion. Graveyard Mansion.
Good heavens, driver, we're strangers here. Just got off that train. You can't expect us to walk a distance you say is 3 miles at this time of night. Or rather morning.
We'd be lost among your canebrake and bayous before we got halfway.
I'm powerful sorry, gentlemen, but I wouldn't drive you to the old Tate Gross plantation house at night for all the money in the New Orleans Mint, and neither will anyone else in these here parts.
Why not?
What's wrong with the Ted Gross place?
What you all want to go up there for?
Well, if it really makes any difference to you, we just inherited the plantation. We're down here to take possession.
Your name's Blanchard there.
Yes.
I heard your two brothers was expected. Your lawyers had men from Baton Rouge this past week fixing the house up. They was glad to get away this morning after only spending daytime there.
Say, will you please tell us exactly what you're driving at?
Just this. If you gentlemen are wise, you'll take the first train back up north and forget that Tate Gross place was ever left you. That old house ain't been lived in for 900 years. For good reason. Folks here call it Graveyard Mansion, 'cause it's a house of the living dead. That's all I know, gentlemen. Good night.
Hey, come back here.
Wait a minute. Well,
I'll be doggone. Drove off and left us flat.
you didn't even want to stay and talk about the place, Kurt.
Lord, now. It looks as though we've inherited a haunted house.
Our attorney never mentioned such a thing in his letters.
Well, he's an educated man. You don't think he'd write us as such a crazy idea as that? Come on. We'd better start walking.
Walk? To Tate Gross tonight?
We haven't any choice. That chap is the only taxi man. There are no hotels in this little village. Let's go back to the depot. We'll get directions from the station master and see if we can buy a lantern.
All right. That chump said our new home is called Graveyard Mansion.
Yes, because it's the house of the living dead. Poor superstitious idiot.
Imagine, wouldn't it? Well,
I'll be doggone. Drove off and left us flat.
didn't even want to stay and talk about the place, Kurt.
Lord, now. It looks as though we've inherited a haunted house.
Our attorney never mentioned such thing in his letters.
Well, he's an educated man. You don't think he'd write us as such a crazy idea as that? Come on. We'd better start walking.
Walk? To Tate Gross tonight?
We haven't any choice. That chap is the only taxi man. There are no hotels in this little village. Let's go back to the depot. We'll get directions from the station master and see if we can buy a lantern.
All right. That chump said our new home is called Graveyard Mansion.
Yes, because it's the house of the living dead. Poor superstitious idiot.
Imagine believing in ghosts in this 20th century.
How can people be so dumb?
There's the marker they told us to look for, Kurt. The house must be just beyond those trees.
I hope it is. I'm tired.
Yeah, so am I. This hike has taken longer than we expected. Must be nearly dawn.
Yes. This Louisiana is eerie country at night. Ghastly Spanish moss hanging from the trees seems to writhe like something living.
And those clouds of mist that rise from the bayous take strange shapes. Half-human shapes. Sort of puts one in the mood to almost believe in ghosts.
What if we didn't have good sense? Wonder what it is these people fear about our new property. That old Creole who sold us the lantern was more insistent than the cab driver that we make no attempt to live in the place, without being any more explicit as to reason.
Yeah, he seemed either afraid or ashamed to make any real explanation. But like the other chap, he said it was a house of the living dead.
Well, that doesn't make sense even for a ghost story. Oh, it's just a lot of bunk.
Well, if the tales are in bunk, we'll soon find out. Look.
Huh. We've arrived.
Kind of a spooky-looking old place at that.
It's different than I pictured it. Sort of like a French chateau.
Our ancestor who built it was married to a French woman. She was probably responsible for its design.
Let's go in.
Wait, Kurt. Look there. Those tombstones.
Burial ground. Maybe that's why they call the house Graveyard Mansion.
That's what I was thinking.
Come on.
Wait a minute. Does it seem to you there's something moving in the darkness beyond those tombstones? Something white?
Yes. Oh, some of that ghastly mist that rises from the bayous.
I suppose so. It looked almost like a woman.
Now, let's go inside the house and get some sleep before we become as goofy as the natives we talked to. Hold this lantern while I find the keys that lawyer sent us.
His men didn't fix the place up very well. There's a broken window.
I see. Here we are. Phew. Black as a coal mine in here.
What was that?
Oh, bats! The place is full of them.
Oh!
Wish I could find a lamp. The lantern isn't much good.
No, its light doesn't seem to penetrate this darkness at all. It's almost an unnatural darkness.
Yes. It's funny. The ventilation from that broken window, it ought to smell sweet in here. There's an earthy odor about the place, like a tomb.
What's that?
Door slammed.
Curtis, down that hallway.
A woman! That laugh!
Well, she's no figure of the mist.
I'll soon find out who that is. Come on.
She's disappeared around the corner.
She went through that little door. Help me.
Yes.
Here it is. It's stuck.
Right.
I've got it.
It leads to the cellar. There she goes, down those stairs.
Hey, stop you. Who are you?
She doesn't even look around.
After her. Hold up that lantern, Alan.
Oh, the bats knocked it from my hand.
We're in the dark.
With her. That laugh again.
Hold on to your nerve. I've got matches.
Well, give me a light, for God's sake. Light.
Here.
Oh, thank God.
The lantern isn't broken.
Well, light it quick.
I have it. Now we'll see what...
The woman's gone. The cellar's empty.
Where does she go to? This isn't a true cellar. It's just a little vault. There's no way out save by these stairs.
She couldn't have passed us. They're too narrow.
The vault is bare. No place in which to hide.
Curtis, what's that set up in the wall?
Why, it's... burial crypt.
A burial crypt. A tomb. That's where that woman hid.
Ellen, hold on to yourself. Here, don't let your nerves go like that. Ellen, our senses have been fooled. Those stories we heard, these ghastly myths we've seen have made us imagine things that can't be true. We haven't seen any woman. There's been no woman here to see.
But we heard her laugh.
Oh, we only thought we did. Our imaginations have played us tricks, I tell you. Alan! Alan!
You must be right.
Of course I'm right. It's the only explanation.
There's an inscription on that tomb. What does it say?
I'll see. It reads, "Here lies Antoinette de Morave, wife of Adrian Blanchard, Born 1782. Died 1804.
130 years ago. Antoinette de Morel. She's the woman this mansion was built for.
Yes, I remember her name now.
Come, let's get out of this cellar.
Wait. That's funny.
What?
It's cold as death down here, but this slab is warm. Feel it.
Yes. It's warm as life.
The rooster crowed. That means it's dawn.
Let's get out of this cellar where I can see the light of day.
Go ahead, I'll follow. Peculiar. Now the slab is growing cold. But, Alan, I've told you 1,000 times that everything we thought we saw and heard and felt last night was pure imagination. Well, that's simple common sense.
I know it is. And I've honestly agreed with you all day. But ever since the sun went down, I realize I'm acting like a baby, Kurt, but this place has got my goat.
You'll soon get over that. Cold shivers ran up and down my spine for hours after we came out of that infernal burial vault this morning. Now that I've had a little sleep, I feel honestly cheerful about our inheritance.
Why do you suppose that single tomb is in the cellar when there's a graveyard just outside?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, Lord, I forgot to show you. Alan, look what I found in the attic.
A miniature portrait. What a beautiful woman.
Look at the back.
It's engraved. To Adrian from Antoinette.
Uh-huh. It's Our Lady of the Tomb. Wasn't she a knockout?
She must have been lovely.
Our great-great-uncle must have been mad about her. That's probably why she's buried away from the common herd. Poor thing. She was only 22 years old when she died.
A branch of the family still lives down here. Wonder if we have any female cousins who've inherited her good looks.
If we can find one, I'll bet you'll have no more objections to living in this house. Oh, you and I are going to be crazy about this place. Look out this window at that neglected land we're going to put in shape. Look at those great trees and that bayou shining in the moonlight.
And those old tombstones in the yard. It's nearly midnight when they say the dead return to life.
If you're going to start that again, I'm going to bed. Better turn in yourself. It is midnight.
Yes. Just midnight. Kurt, did you hear that door?
The wind must have slammed it shut.
It may be the door from that cellar.
Now stop that. You're not going to pieces on me again.
Kurt, look out this window. The woman whom we saw last night.
Good Lord. She won't get away from me this time.
Where are you going?
After her.
Oh, wait, don't leave me. Wait, Kurt, don't go near her.
Let me go.
No.
Alan.
She's turning back.
She's coming toward us.
Run. She's something awful from the grave.
I won't believe that. Let me go.
That laugh.
Same we heard last night.
Run, I tell you, run. She's something risen from the dead.
Lord, help me. I believe you're right. Come on.
Run.
Gentlemen!
Wait.
She's calling to us.
Man, there's nothing dead about that voice.
Why do you gentlemen run away from me? Do you think I am a ghost, perhaps?
Look at her coming there. A healthy-looking flesh and blood girl.
She's laughing at us.
Can you blame her? Of all the dumb, benighted saps,
Yes,
we are...
we certainly are. Curtis,
What's the matter now?
look at her. She's the image of that miniature you found.
Joe. The living image of a woman who's been dead 100 years.
Gentlemen, if you permit, I take the liberty of introduce myself.
Satan, if these folks come see us next time old Nancy has a birthday, she'll tell them some more about graveyard mansions. the house of the living dead.
We bring you The Witch's Tale, written and produced by Alonzo Dean Cole. And now, let us join old Nancy, witch of Salem, and Satan, her wise black cat.
Hunna and 10-year-old I be today. Yes, sir, Hunna and 10-year-old. Satan. Old Nancy feels so good this evening, she's gonna get right down to business and cheer folks up. But spinning the finish of that comforting little yarn we begun last time they was here. Douse out them lights, so's we'll have it dark and cozy. We told how them two young brothers from up north went down to Louisiana to claim a fine big mansion they'd inherited, which folks called the House of the Living Dead. But our brothers didn't pay no attention to that kind of talk till they got out to the place and seed a ghostly figure which seemed to disappear in a tomb down cellar, on which was the name of a French woman who'd been dead 100 years. Then, next night, they saw what appeared to be the same ghostly figure out on the grounds, and they was about to run away from it when they seed it was really a living, breathing girl. A living girl who was the image of the woman who was buried in that tomb. That's why we left off. Draw up to the fire and gaze into the embers. Gaze into 'em deep and hear the finish of our yarn about Graveyard Mansion. Graveyard Mansion.
two gentlemen acted so afraid. When you saw me coming toward you, you must have think I am a ghost.
No words can express my humiliation for the childish way we acted.
We're terribly ashamed. We'd heard so many weird tales about our new estate, and, well, we didn't think any living person would venture on these grounds at night.
I come often when the moon is full like this and wander here while others sleep. This place has been so long deserted. I have come to look upon it as my own. Oh, but now that you are here, I must not trespass any more.
Please don't feel that way about
Oh, I
it.
should say not. Look upon this place as still your
Oh,
own.
thank you. Perhaps I shall. Now I must say au revoir.
May we see you home?
Oh, thank you very much, but I must go alone.
Before you go, may we know your name?
Oh, I had forgot. I am Miss Nettie Blanchard.
Blanchard?
Well, that's our name, too.
So, we are distant relatives, maybe. Good night.
We shall see you again.
You will see me again.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Isn't she a beauty?
Absolute knockout.
Kurt, let me see that miniature again of the Lady of the Tomb.
Here. The resemblance is startling, isn't it?
The girl who just left here might have sat for this portrait.
Alan. She said her name was Nettie. That's a contraction of Antoinette.
Antoinette was the name of
The woman of this portrait.
coincidence, isn't it?
Yes. Coincidence. Oh, come on. Let's go to bed. Alan, wake up. Are you going to sleep all day?
Huh?
Well, it's morning. Time to rise and shine.
Oh, I was dreaming.
It must have been a pleasant dream. You certainly didn't want to snap out of it.
I dreamed that girl, the one we met last night, came into this room and kissed me
Oh, that sounds nice. Get up. We have a lot of work to do.
right away. Queer. I feel weak as a kitten.
Huh. You don't look any too good.
I have a funny pain.
Where?
Here, on my throat.
There's a little mark there. As though you'd been bitten.
Funny. That's where I dreamed she kissed me.
The house is just beyond that next turn in the road, Doctor. Turn your car to the left.
Another way. You say it is just a week since you noticed the first indication of your brother's illness?
Yes. I wouldn't have believed anyone could waste away so suddenly. He looks as though every drop of blood were being drained from his body.
You should have come for me sooner.
Oh, I wanted to. But he and Miss Blanchard insisted there was nothing really the matter with him.
This Miss Blanchard, a relative, of course.
A very distant one. We only met her since we came down here. She's with my brother now. When he recovers, they're going to be married.
They became engaged on very short acquaintance.
Yes. There's the house just ahead.
I know Graveyard Mansion very well. This strange mark you mentioned on your brother's throat, you say it have become more inflamed each day?
Yes. It's as though the fangs of some beast had entered there. The house was full of bats when we arrived, Doctor. I've heard of vampire bats. Do you suppose...
No, I do not believe your brother is the victim of a vampire bat. Here we are.
Oh, there's Miss Blanchard at the door. Nettie, is Alan all right? I brought the doctor.
The doctor come too late.
What do you mean? Not that Alan...
Your brother is dead.
No. No.
Graveyard Mansion. Graveyard Mansion.
Oh.
Come away from that window, son. There's no way for us to bring your brother back.
No. He's buried in that little graveyard now. The doctor, what killed him? What caused that awful mark upon his throat? What drained the blood from his body? What?
As yet, I only know it was nothing recognized by natural science. But science refuses to recognize many things it should endeavor to know and explain. But never mind that now. Your brother's fiancée, Miss Blanchard, she was not at the funeral this afternoon.
Because she couldn't bear to see him lying in his coffin. You heard her say last night...
Oui, I heard her excuse. You have never seen this girl except at night?
Why, no, but the reason is...
I have also heard her excuse for that. I thought I knew by sight every soul in this parish, yet I have never seen that girl until the night you brought me here.
Well, you don't mean to imply that she had anything to do with Alan's death?
I imply nothing. But it is midnight, in time for Miss Blanchard's promised call. I am most anxious to improve her acquaintance.
I see her coming beyond those gravestones. Isn't she beautiful?
You love that woman.
Doctor.
You love her as your brother did.
Yes. While Alan lived, I denied it even to myself. But now Doctor, it's as though she's cast a spell upon me. She's so beautiful.
And so like the miniature you showed me of a woman dead 100 years.
Why do you torture me with these awful questions? These frightful doubts? Why is she so like a woman dead 100 years? Why does she only appear at midnight? Why don't she tell me where she lives? Why?
Oh, Anita, she's almost at the door. We may find an answer to our questions. At the dawn!
I never see such a superstitious man of medicine, Dr. Brochard. The way you talk, you have me almost believe in ghosts.
I believe in ghosts, Mademoiselle Blanchard, in ghosts and vampires.
Vampires, Doctor?
Such talk is foolish. No people now accept such things.
The thought is too fearful for men's mind to dwell upon, perhaps. Have you heard what vampires are, Miss Blanchard?
Oh, some other time you tell me. Curtis, I must be going now.
Mademoiselle will find the explanation very interesting. Vampires are those evil spirits, sometimes called the dead alive. It is said they rise from their graves at midnight, clothed in human flesh, kept whole by blood drained from living bodies.
Very interesting, but I must be going.
But you have not heard yet all. At midnight, the vampire can rise, mademoiselle, but it must return to its grave at dawn.
Yes, but I must be leaving now.
Of course, it is very late, or rather early. Dawn is here.
Doctor, what are you driving
I
at?
believe in vampires, my boy, and dangers of the darkness. Since Miss Blanchard will not permit you or me to see her home, I suggest you wait with us till daylight come for her protection.
You keep me here with talk. I must be home.
But a few minutes can make very little difference, and dawn is nearly here.
Move from that door and let me pass.
You are as anxious to reach your home as the vampire is to reach his doom.
Doctor.
You are insulting.
No, I am accusing.
Dr. Broussard!
Accusing the fiend to kill your brother, accusing the evil soul of Graveyard Mansion.
Stand from that door and let me pass.
No!
Let me pass,
I do
I
not
say.
hear you. Dawn is coming light. The robs fiends of the power darkness lends them. Look, the first streaks of dawn shine in the sky.
Let me pass.
Doctor, you're mad! Stand aside and let her go!
Oh, if she's normal woman, not of the vile undead, let her remain within this room 1 minute more.
I cannot. I am late.
Nebby! She's turned around. Ran the other way.
After her.
She's going to the cellar.
I knew she would. Quick, and you will see the truth. Dawn! She's won home.
I won't believe.
You shall have proof.
What are you going to do?
Open the tomb of Antoinette, who has been dead 100 years.
This is sacrilege. We have no right to violate a tomb. The dead.
Deserve no mercy from either god or man.
Such things as vampires can't exist.
Well, I finished my labor. Help me lift this coffin lid, as you shall see.
Oh, I must have proof. Antoinette Blanchard has been dead 100 years. We shall find nothing but dust.
Help me lift the lid.
The girl I love can't be in that coffin.
Help me lift the lid.
I will.
Regard. There is your proof.
Antoinette.
Yes, of tonight and of 100 years ago, the same, preserved in evil life by the blood of your brother and of others. So has this house gained its name of Graveyard Mansion. But there is a way to end the vampire. This sharpened wooden stake. Above her undead art I place it, and I drive it home.
She screamed. Body has crumbled into dust before my eyes.
The vampire is no more. The living dead is dead forever.
She's gone. She and my brother. All that I loved.
But the world has lost the scourge. And now Graveyard Mansion is nothing but a name.
Well, that's the end of that, Satan. You folks come see old Nancy next time she has a birthday.
We bring you The Witch's Tale, written and produced by Alonzo Dean Cole. And now let us join old Nancy, witch of Salem, and Satan, her wise black cat.
$110 I be today. Yes, sir. 110. Satan. A lot of folks have been writing us letters asking how old Nancy got to be such a nice right age. You said it, Satan. The whole answer to that question is that we knows magic charm. I wears a iron ring to keep away rheumatics. There's always an onion hanging over my door to drive off chills and fevers. And round my neck I wears a potent talisman made during the increase of a moon, which protects me from all accidents. A body who takes care of her health with powerful spells like them is bound to reach 118 years, like I just turned today. That's right, Satan. Another reason for me living so long is that I never tells a lie, which proves there's no truth in the saying that the good dies young. Well, we got another cheerful little bedtime story for you now. If you'll just turn out them lights and make it nice and dark. That's it. Now, draw up to the fire and gaze into the embers. Gaze into them deep, and soon you'll see 4 people at the door of a fine big house. Soon you'll learn about the hairy monster.
That's our tale for tonight. The hairy monster.
Here we are. Now, just a moment till I find the light switch.
Hurry, Mr. Weeks.
Gosh, yes.
We're terrible excited.
I have it. Now, look at the inside of your new home.
Oh,
Gee whiz.
Barbara.
Like it?
Oh, heaven.
A regular mansion.
Perfectly
And
scrumptious.
it's all yours, Miss Turner, house, grounds, and furniture. That is, if you'll carry out the conditions of Mrs. Hawker's will and live here continuously for 1 year, beginning tonight.
If she'll live here. Ha! Try and get you away, eh, perhaps?
Sure, I'll say so. After you and Aunt Maggie and I have had to live in 2 rooms and a kitchen there all our lives. Oh, doesn't it just seem as though we're dreaming? My. I can hardly believe it.
Still.
Look, Dad, Mr. Weeks even had a telephone put in for us.
Oh,
I've had the place set in order as though I was moving in myself. Doesn't look like a house that's been closed and tenantless for 5 years.
it's just perfect. Everything.
Absolutely scrumptious.
I'm going to get our baggage from the car, so I'll have nothing to do but explore. I'm going over the place from cellar to attic.
Rodney, don't forget to bring in my hat box and umbrella.
I won't, Aunt Maggie.
Aunt Maggie, just look at these gorgeous window curtains. Real lace.
My. But the kitchen is what I want to see. That's my special bailiwick, Mr. Weeks. Where is it?
You'll find it at the end of this hall, Miss Carpenter.
Excuse me. I've got to have a look at the kitchen before I do another thing.
We're all so terribly excited, Mr. Weeks. And we'll never forget that our good fortune is entirely due to you.
I'm only acting as any attorney would to serve his client's interest.
But other attorneys kept this place away from us for 5 whole years.
Well, they had no legal grounds for their action, as the court has finally decided. The terms of Mrs. Hawker's will were specific and clear, in spite of certain rather strange provisions. Her sister, Helen, was named as sole heir. And in the event of her demise, it was provided that the estate should pass to her nearest female kin, which happened to be you. At your sister's untimely death, the executors should have placed you in immediate possession.
Now, to continue in possession, I simply have to fulfill the terms originally imposed upon my sister.
That's all. You reside in this house for a period of 1 year, during which time you will sleep in the master bedroom upstairs, which was formerly occupied by Mrs. Hawker. You are not to pass so much as a single night away from here, and you will spend at least 3 hours in that bedroom from every midnight to sunrise alone.
Funny condition, isn't it?
But a very simple one.
If poor Helen hadn't been killed in that auto accident the day of Mrs. Hawker's funeral, she would have found it as easy to fulfill as I have. Now she's dead. And I have this wonderful house.
Your sister must have been a very sweet and lovable character. Mrs. Hawker had known her scarcely 2 weeks when she executed that will in her favor.
Wasn't it extraordinary? Helen was only her paid companion, a trained nurse like myself.
Strange, the workings of fate. Now you, whom Mrs. Hawker never even met, become her heir.
But what sort of woman was Mrs. Hawker? Helen used to write that she was very cute.
And that's proven by the queer conditions of her will.
But despite her eccentricity, Helen wrote that she was a highly intelligent old person who spent most of her time in scientific research.
I've heard that, but I hardly think of her studies as very scientific. You'll find some mighty queer stuff in the library she left. Works on magic, alchemy, and such outlandish things as that.
Is that what she studied?
They're the only books in the place with English titles. I don't know what the body of the sheet of are written in Chinese.
Chinese?
Yes, you've inherited quite a collection of Oriental literature. Mrs. Hawker spent most of her life in Tibet. As the wife of a missionary, I believe, and that's all I or anyone else in this town really knows about it. But she made no friends or companions. From the time she came here 15 years ago and built this house, she rarely left it. In fact, she scarcely ever left that room upstairs, which you'll occupy in accordance with her will.
She must have been very eccentric. Her provision isn't the only strange one in her will.
You don't have to worry about the others. The executives had seen to their fault.
I know. But why?
Hey, help me, someone. Not much obliged. I wanted to get all this luggage in at once, so I'll have nothing to do but look over our new residence. And besides, it's Mr. Weeks' car we had cluttered up with this stuff, and he may want to drive it home sometime tonight.
Hey, it's nearly midnight. I must be running along now.
Oh, it was awfully good of you to meet us at the train and bring us out here.
I wanted to enjoy your first excitement of this place.
Oh, Barbara, the kitchen is simply scrumptious. There's copper pots and pans, real silverware, china dishes. Rodney, did you bring in my big hat box and umbrella?
Here they are, Aunt Maggie.
Oh, thank goodness.
Well, I run along. Guess you'll find things comfortable enough. Really to make your own arrangements.
Everything's wonderful, thanks to you.
You've been a real friend, Mr. Weeks.
It's all been a pleasure for me. Good night.
I'll take you to the door.
We'll all take you.
My stars, the moon has come out.
Isn't it nice?
as dark as pits when we drove up here.
Mr. Weeks, what's that little white building back there? Our garage?
No, son, that's Mrs. Hawker's tomb.
Oh, the mausoleum you told me she had built.
Yes.
That's the one thing I ain't going to like about this place. That tomb.
Well, we'll have to get used to it. One of the provisions in her will is that it is never to be removed.
That's right. Well, I must be going. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Weeks.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
And thanks a thousand times.
Oh, that's all right.
Good luck, you all. Let's get back in, Babs. I'm just crazy to explore the place.
So am I. And I can hardly realize it's really ours.
I don't like that grave in the backyard.
Aunt Maggie, you knew that tomb was there before we came.
I didn't know it was so near the house. It ain't right for the dead and living to be so close to one another.
Oh, how silly. Come inside and stop gazing at it.
All right. Shut that door, Rodney, and lock it tight.
You ain't afraid Mrs. Hawker will get lonesome out there and try to play us a visit.
If she wanted to, locks and bolts wouldn't stop her. Ghosts can get in anywhere.
Oh, Aunt Maggie, don't be so ridiculous. Here, Rod, let's take this luggage up to our bedroom before we do anything else.
You two keep away from them bedrooms till I look them over.
What for?
What for? Ain't I been keeping house for you two orphans almost all your life? I'm going up and see the beds are made up proper with clean sheets and all.
All right, Aunt Maggie. Arrange things to suit yourself. But I'm asleep in the east wing room, you know.
I ain't forgetting. Here, I'll take the big hat box and umbrella. You can bring the rest of that truck up later.
Okay, Aunt Maggie. She would have insisted on going up there to fix things just as if we were a couple of kids.
Have you found the bedroom house, Aunt Maggie?
Yes, Barbara.
This here east room of yours is room I knew it would be. Oh, Ryan, isn't it wonderful to know all this belongs to it, that we're going to live in this house?
You've got to live here for a year.
As though that could be anything but pleasure. Oh, tonight, I'm just the happiest girl in the world.
What was that?
Aunt Maggie!
Come upstairs. Something is wrong.
Aunt Maggie!
Aunt Maggie!
She has knocked us.
Well, the lights have gone out up here.
We're in the dark. Aunt Maggie, where are
Here,
you?
give me your hand. The east room is this way. We'll find her there.
Oh, why doesn't she answer us? What made her scream?
Oh, the lights have gone out again.
There she is, in that room.
On the floor.
Aunt Maggie. Well, Aunt Maggie, speak to me.
She doesn't move. She's fainted.
Look at her eyes, Ralph.
They're staring at the ceiling, just like she was scared of something. What?
I don't know. She's not breathing. Her heart isn't beating. God!
You still insist, Doc, that this woman was frightened to death?
I do, Lieutenant. Until an autopsy shows me some chronic organic weakness that isn't apparent now, I'll say she died of paralysis of the heart muscle brought about by shock. The expression of her face and eyes indicate that shock was caused by sheer stark terror.
But what could frighten her? There was nothing here to do.
You two entered this room almost immediately after she screamed?
Yes, and the room was just like you see it now.
Well, she couldn't have been frightened by anything seen through these windows. Shutters are closed. Shades drawn. You're positive every door and window in this house is locked on the inside, Ryan?
Yes, sir. Absolutely positive.
Yet you found no one hiding in the place.
No, sir. We searched every corner.
You're sure neither of you touched anything after you found your aunt?
No, sir. Not even the front door, which was locked until you got here.
We just phoned for you, police, and then sat down until you came.
If that woman died of fright, she must have been scared by her own imagination.
Oh, that's impossible. She wasn't that high.
It's the only explanation that is possible, miss. When the coroner here first gave us his theory of her death, I suspected a tramp or burglar had surprised her. But we've proved that no one has gotten in or out of the place and that nobody's here now except ourselves.
Well, someone must have turned those lights on.
Yeah, and turn them on again.
Well, that was caused by defective wiring, miss. I'll have the electric company look into that just to check. This is a coroner's case, not a police matter, boys. Come on, let's go.
Lieutenant, sir.
Yes, Ryan?
You mind putting me on duty inside this house for a couple of days, maybe?
What for? The case is closed.
I kind of got a notion of a thing.
What do you mean?
I just kind of got a notion.
Another of your crazy notions, eh? I've got his idea, boys. Detective Ryan is an authority on spooks. There's an explanation for us. A ghost could frighten a woman to death, and they wouldn't be stopped by locked windows or doors.
I ain't expecting a ghost to be in this house tonight, sir. For I've just found something that no ghost would leave behind.
What have you found?
This, sir. It's snagged on back of that chair.
Yeah.
Two hairs. Two white
Anyone might have shed a few hairs here at any time.
These are most unusual hairs, sir. Look, I'm 6 feet tall, and these hairs are longer than I am.
Well, that's just the beginning of his fussy story, Satan. You folks come see me next time I has a birthday, and I'll let you know what sort of critter them hairs belong to.
We bring you The Witcher's Tale, written and produced by Alonzo Dean Cole. And now let us join old Nancy and Satan, her wise black cat.
Hannah am 12-year-old I be today. Yes, sir. Hannah am 12-year-old. And now, if everybody just douse out their life, we'll spin the finish of that 30 yarn we begun the last time you was here. Why'd we leave off, Satan? Oh, yes. We told how that nice young girl named Barbara Tanner inherited a fine big mansion that had originally been left her sister by a strange old woman named Mrs. Hawker, who'd made a lot of funny provisions in her will. Then the house stood empty for 5 years, for the lawyers let Barbara have it. So when she come to take possession with her young brother and her aunt, she was mighty happy. Until she found her aunt lying in a room upstairs, stone dead. The police doctor said she'd been frightened to death. And then a young detective found 2 human hairs beside her. 2 white human hairs that was over 6 feet long. Now draw up to the fire and gaze into them embers. Gaze into them deep and hear the rest of our yarn about the hairy monster. The hairy monster!
It's almost 1 o'clock, Mr. Ryan. How much longer are we going to sit here in the dark?
A little before 12, you heard your aunt scream in this room last night.
Yes.
I kind of had a notion history might repeat itself, but it begins to look like I was wrong. You're all in, aren't you, Miss Turner?
Of course she's all in. She hasn't had a wink of sleep.
Well, that doesn't matter, Rod. If there's anything to be gained by watching this.
Well, I'd kind of like to sit it out a while longer if you don't mind.
You still think those hairs you found had something to do with Aunt Maggie's death?
Well, I kind of got a notion.
But what could have hair like that, nearly 6 feet long?
I don't know, son.
You say the autopsy this afternoon strengthened the coroner's conviction my aunt was frightened to death.
Yes, sir.
But you are positive no human being could have gotten in here. Mr. Ryan, do you believe in ghosts, as the lieutenant said last night?
Well, I keep a sort of open mind, miss. You know, folks are apt to say things ain't so just 'cause those things haven't been a part of their personal experience. I've got a kind of notion strange things happen in this world that can't be explained away by simply saying they couldn't happen.
You're Irish, aren't you, Mr. Ryan?
Well, Ryan ain't exactly a Polish name. You mean maybe I come to my funny beliefs natural.
Belief in the supernatural is common to all races. Only the Irish seem to have a deeper insight into mysteries, and, well, only the Scotch can compete with them when it comes to having notions.
Yes, and my mother was Scotch.
Is that so? I'm Scotch-Irish, too.
Well,
You know, I kind of had a notion. Yes, sir. The moment I looked at you, I said to myself, now there's too nice a girl to be anything.
say, if
but
anything's
Scotch.
going to happen in this room, when is it going to begin?
Just wait a little longer, son. Yes, sir, Miss Turner. You're the type of girl who... Say, you're not engaged or going with anyone steady, are you?
You know, according to Mrs. Hawker's will, my sister has to stay in this room at least 3 hours every night alone.
Oh, I don't care anything about that, Rod. After what's happened, I hate this house.
Funny conditions in that will, you Mrs. Hawkers, you told me about. Awful funny. Come on, son. Let you and me leave your sister alone in here.
None of you think anything may happen.
It won't. That was just a bum notion. Here, now switch on these lights. Now leave them burning the rest of the night, miss. I think you'll sleep better.
I'd rather you and Rod stay here with me, Mr. Rod. I'm not afraid, but I'm too upset to
No,
sleep.
I'm not. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Come on, son.
If my sister don't want to be left here alone...
Shall I
you
know
don't
when she
have
gets
to.
used to it? Come on.
Hey, let go of my arm. What do you
Come
mean?
on.
Don't do that.
Mr. Ryan.
Good night.
Hey, are you crazy?
Shut up.
I will not. You can't smoke real close.
I'm going to keep my hand over your mouth so you nod your head. You keep your face closed. You keep quiet? All right.
What's the idea?
I just got a notion something might happen in that room quicker if so many people weren't hanging around.
You mean...
I don't know. We ain't going to move 2 feet from your sister's door if we have to stay here all night. Now come back here. What's that crack of light under the door? If it goes out or your sister yells, we throw ourselves into that room double quick. 1 o'clock.
What's your reason for all this?
There ain't no reason. I just can't.
And we've stood here like statues for a solid hour. My legs are cramped.
Rubber. Sister's asleep. Hear her breathing. She breathes nice and is soft.
Say, if you're expecting a ghost here, they don't come round till after midnight.
Ghosts don't leave human hair behind.
Oh, I think this waiting is all the bunk. Nothing was in that room last night. Nothing to get in there now with us here in front of the only door. Mr. Ryan, the light just went out under the door.
Yes. Come on, let's go.
Up by the bed.
Good God.
It's something coming with air.
Yes, long white hair.
Help! Can't breathe!
Quick, your gun.
Hold that flashlight on it.
It's a hairy monster!
You missed.
Shoot again!
I hit it, but it doesn't drop.
It's coming toward me!
Bullets don't seem to kill it. Something unnatural dead.
Shoot again.
My gun's empty. I'll grab it.
No, don't touch it! Don't let it touch you!
It's going through the
There's
wall.
the fourth panel, a secret passage there. Give me that flashlight. I'm going up.
No, don't go in that darkness alone!
He's gone down those stairs. Inside the wall.
Come on after him, it'll kill him!
Babs, come back. It'll kill us all.
Mr. Ryan! Mr. Ryan!
Babs, I'll go with you. Babs.
There's Mr. Ryan's flashlight up ahead. Come on!
That hairy thing has got away.
Where does this passage lead to?
I don't know. Look out. Here's more stairs going up.
Mr. Ryan, are you safe? It didn't hurt you?
All right. The thing has disappeared.
What was it? It wasn't human covered with that matted hair, and it smelled of mold and earth and death.
No.
It tried to smother me in my
Here,
sleep.
Miss Turner, pull yourself together. I don't know what it was we saw and followed. Here's where I lost it. Here at the end of this secret passage.
This is the end.
Where are we?
I've got a kind of notion we're in Mrs. Hawker's tomb.
Mr. Ryan, that frightful thing we saw last night couldn't have been Mrs. Walter. She's been dead 5 years. And you say yourself it was not a ghost?
No. Ghosts don't leave hair behind. They're little things like this.
What's that?
Human fingernail, 5 inches long. I found it by the panel that leads into that passage. I've read that nails grow out about an inch each year. And like hair sometimes, they keep on growing after death.
You mean...
But last night we saw the dead who's still alive.
A vampire?
No, a vampire drains your blood. Mrs. Hawker came last night to steal your body. When she was placed in this tomb 5 years ago, she had everything arranged to steal your sister.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've done some funny reading, as I told you, Miss Turner. In Tibet, where Mrs. Hawker used to live, there's magicians who know how to suspend all animation of their organs and to live like the dead for almost any time they want. They also know how to kill another human being with smothering its breath and how to set up their own spirit inside the stolen flesh. Mrs. Hawker knew all about the magicians of Tibet.
If this incredible thing can be true, that explains those conditions in her will.
Yep, that her heir occupy that room with a secret passage leading to this mausoleum. She'd been cheated of your sister and had waited 5 years when you arrived. She was over-anxious to claim your life that she might live again. So she entered that room without caution, and your aunt saw her awful figure in the moonlight. Last night she waited. Careful.
But the lights, what made them go out?
Master switch inside the passage. She built this house herself, you know. And among the queer conditions in her will was one that the slab above her tomb should be made so it might be lifted by a lever inside her coffin. Another stipulation was that she shouldn't be embalmed.
And those instructions were carried out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but why didn't your bullets kill her last night if she's really living? They say you're a champion pistol shot, yet we couldn't find a drop of
She
blood.
hasn't any blood, son. Her body is just a dried-up husk held together by a evil spirit. That husk must be destroyed entirely, all at once. That's why I'm having those lamps put up inside the mausoleum.
Those huge sun-ray lamps?
Yes, the sun that preserves life is the destroyer of the dead. That's why she can only leave her tomb in darkness.
It's night now. There may be danger from her if you lift that flap. Why don't you wait until morning, until the natural sun comes out?
I can't have her in the same world with you another hour. You know, Miss Turner, you're the type of girl who...
Everything's set, Ryan.
You and your brother wait outside here, just in case anything goes wrong.
No, if there's any danger, I'm going with you.
Miss Turner, you're not engaged or going with anybody, are you?
We're ready, Ryan, if you are.
All right. Lamp set and lever placed?
Everything.
Now turn your lamps on before we put pressure on this lever.
There we go.
All right, boys. Keep the slab off.
Here it comes.
Now keep away from him, Miss Turner.
It's off.
You were right. In that coffin is a hairy monster.
She's alive. She's getting
Now
up.
turn those rays down there in the coffin. The lamps went out. What's wrong?
I'll take this.
Quick.
She's rising from the
Good
tomb.
Lord. You keep back, Miss Turner. Keep away.
She's got her hands on Mr. Ryan.
Oh, and those long nails like knives.
Those lamps. God sake,
Tear her
those
away.
lamps.
She's cutting him to pieces.
Get away. Lamps are out again. And the rays are working. Look.
She's let him go. Oh, Mr.
She's fallen.
She's becoming just dust and bones and hair.
She's gone.
Destroyed forever. Are you all right?
I kinda got a notion.
Oh, you're bleeding. She slashed your face and throat. Blood. Give me iodine. Bandages. Thank goodness I'm a nurse.
A nurse? You know, Miss Turner, you're just the type of girl who... Say, are you engaged or going with anyone steady?
Be quiet. You're weak and losing blood.
But are you?
No, not yet. Why do you keep asking me that?
Oh, I...
Well, that's the end of that then, Satan. And if it didn't curl your hair, it should at least make it kind of wavy. Well, Satan and me's got business to tend to now. Important business, Satan. Near midnight, Satan.
The Witch's Tale. The fascination of the eerie, weird, blood-chilling tales told by old Nancy, the witch of Salem, and Satan, her wise black cat. They're waiting for you, now.
And 2-year-old I be today. Yes, sir, 102-year-old. Well, Satan, if you'll tell folks to douse their lights, we'll be getting down to business. That's it. Make it nice and dark. We want lots of shadow for this pretty bedtime story. Now, draw up to the fire and gaze into the embers. Gaze into 'em deep, and soon you'll see a tremendous barn-like room in New York City. It's called a studio. At one end stands a great big ugly man who's posing. In the center, a little handsome man is modeling an enormous heap of clay into a statue of a god. The old Norwegian goddess strength and thunder. And that's what we're telling you about tonight. The statue of Thor. The statue of Thor.
Can you hold that pose another 5 minutes, Olaf?
You're Mr. Adding. I've been never tired and I've for you.
You certainly have a treasure in Olaf, Neil. He scarcely moved a finger in half an hour.
Yes, quite the perfect model. The poor chump hasn't brains enough to become tired.
Neil?
Well, that's been all right, Mr. Bingham. I don't mind them, Mr. Adding yokes. Most everyone yoke like that with Olaf. When I used to be wrestler, my manager say every day to me, Olaf, you big Swede, if you got brains in your head like you got muscles in your body, you'll be wrestling champion of the world.
But Olaf has a sense of humor too, Arnold. As a joke on his manager, he never became wrestling champion of anywhere.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, excuse, I should not laugh. It breaks the pose.
I don't care what you do with your face. It's your body I'm copying.
Yeah, I forget. My face is not so good.
All right, for a comic Valentine, perhaps. But I'm working on the statue of a god.
Don't let him talk to you like that, Olaf. Your face is all right, and so's your brain. And you have the most superb body of any man I've ever seen.
Yeah? You been talk sarcastic, Mr. Bingham. I don't like sarcastic yoke.
Sarcastic?
That's enough for one day's work. You go and put your clothes on, Olaf.
So soon?
I'm bored. Come the same time tomorrow.
Yeah, I be here. Can I look at the work we do this afternoon?
Help yourself.
Oh, that statue. He been beautiful. And to think he been really me.
From the neck down, you're Thor the Thunderer.
Too bad my face been not so good. I would like him to be me all over.
I'll use my imagination and another model for the face. Go and put your clothes and get out of here.
Tomorrow we finish statue, maybe. You and me.
You know, he considers himself as much the creator of this figure as I am.
Better watch your nasty tongue with that fellow, Neil. If he ever discovers your insults aren't intended as jokes, he might break you in two.
He never discovers anything.
Yes, unfortunately, you have the ability to inspire devotion in people who should rightfully despise you. God only knows why. I know you're a supercilious prig, a selfish snob, an absolutely conscienceless libertine, yet I still put up with you.
That's because you hope to be around when just retribution overtakes me for my sins, I suppose.
No, I've ceased to hope for that.
Well, now, what do you think of my statue of Thor? Not that I value your opinion.
I don't expect you to. Well, it's like all your previous work. Magnificent in execution.
Thanks, I agree.
But like all your previous work, it lacks the very thing a true artist would have put into it.
Now you're going to tell me that it has no soul. Thor was a pagan old chap. He enjoyed life in those delightful days before souls were invented.
Oh, why won't you be serious about your work, Neil? You're a superb sculptor. If you wished, you might someday stand with the immortals.
The immortals were a very stupid lot who loved work to the exclusion of pleasure. Fame and the monument after I'm dead aren't nearly so tempting as good liquor and beautiful women while I'm alive. Oh, which reminds me, have a drink.
So you're going to continue throwing your talents away?
I don't call it that.
I play with art because it amuses me. If I took it seriously, it would cease to amuse.
So your entire life's to be simply a round of amusement.
And a quest for new sensations.
For a momentary thrill, a new sensation, I believe you'd commit a murder.
That's an idea. I'll recall your suggestion next time I'm terribly bored. Well, here's the crime.
I've been ready to go now, Mr. Redding.
So I see. Here's a man after your own heart, Arnold. A sober, conscientious worker who doesn't dally by the wayside. Note how rapidly he dressed, for example. Now he stands before us, Arnold, the perfect portrait of a well-dressed man.
There I go now. Tomorrow the finished statue may be you and me.
I hope so. I'd like to have it ready for casting this month, if possible.
It been so beautiful, that statue. Too bad my face been not so good. I would like it to be me all over.
Yes, we've already settled that point. Get out, Olaf.
Yeah, I go now. Oh, Mr. Redding, I gonna get married.
Huh? Olaf, you are going to get married?
Yeah.
Well, this is a surprise.
Oh, my congratulations, Olaf.
I thank you, Mr. Bingham.
Where did you find her? In an asylum for the blind?
She come from Minnesota.
Well, what do you want me to do about it?
Mr. Redding, my Hedwig, she never see anything of me except my homely face. I like her to see this statue.
All right. Bring your girlfriend in sometime.
Could I bring her now?
Now?
Yeah, she been wait on the street outside to meet me when I get to work. I can have her here in just 1 minute.
Oh, go and get her then.
Oh, I thank you.
Not at all. I'm curious to see what the woman looks like who can plan to marry you.
I come right back with Hedwig, Mr. Redding. I come right back.
Prepare yourself for a vision of beauty, Arnold, who'll wear number 13 shoes.
Neil, I know you've no humanity in your system, but try to remember you were bred a gentleman. Don't insult that poor devil's sweetheart when she gets here.
I'll accord her all the old world courtesy a female should command. Such a female as would choose Olaf for a bridegroom.
Now, then I shan't stay here to see you mock them.
I've never had an affair with a really ugly woman.
Neil!
Think of the fun it would be to steal big Olaf's sweetheart.
You're only joking, of course.
Am I? You lack all appreciation of the more subtle joys of life, Arnold. Why do you suppose I have that big idiot around me? Because he's my opposite in everything. Opposites attract, but they don't assimilate. In fact, there's constant war between them. It amuses me to prove the superiority of mind over matter. My type over his.
Be careful such amusement doesn't become dangerous.
Small chance. If you recall your mythology, old chap, Thor, with all his giant strength and magic hammer, never proved a match for tiny Loki and his nimble brain.
He did at last, but then Odin came to his aid with the thunderbolts of justice.
I see you not only recall your mythology, but still believe in it. But don't be alarmed about Olaf's sweetheart. On mature consideration, I couldn't arouse an ardent interest in any female who will prove so unattractive.
This way, Hedwig. This way. We are here, Mr. Redding. Hedwig, I want you to meet my boss, Mr. Redding. This is Hedwig.
This?
Yeah. This time Olaf make a joke. I bet you expect, Mr. Redding, that Hedwig will be homely just like me. I do not tell him, Hedwig, that you are more putty than a picture.
You're right, Olaf. This time the joke's on me. Miss Hedwig, I can't express the great delight I have in meeting such a very lovely girl.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Redding. Olaf has told me lots about you.
You must learn lots more about me from myself. Allow me to present Mr. Bingham. Delighted.
How do you do?
Olaf make a joke. He make a first-class joke.
Splendid joke, Olaf. A capital joke. And it's driven away my boredom. It's promised a new sensation.
Neil.
I don't understand.
You will, Miss Hedwig, as we become acquainted.
We show you now this statue.
By all means. Miss Hedwig, gaze on Thor, the Thunderer.
He's me, Hedwig. My body.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You'll note the face is still unfinished. I'm using another model for that.
Please, Neil.
That's because my face is not so good. But the body, Hedwig, that is me.
Yes, yours is the body of Thor, who was strongest of gods and men. No one could beat him. No one could take anything from him.
You heard that, Hedwig? I'm like that too, by golly. Any fellow will find that out who tries to take your way.
No one ever dared take anything from Thor, except Loki.
Who was Loki?
Oh, just a weak little chap like me.
again, Neil. I'm afraid.
My dear Hedvig, Olaf hasn't brains enough to suspect us.
Oh, perhaps I wouldn't be so nervous if we weren't in the studio with that statue facing us and watching her every time you kiss me.
It doesn't watch with Olaf's face.
Oh, but it has his huge body with all those bulging muscles.
Formidable, aren't they? Those hands could tear us into tiny bits.
Oh, don't say such things.
All right, since the remote prospect frightens you so much. But that clay model won't be here to bother your conscience much longer. It's finished now. Tomorrow I start to prepare the molds, and next week I'll cast it into bronze.
Oh, I know it's silly, but I'll feel easier when it's gone from here.
You're too much of a coward to properly enjoy this little idol of ours, my dear. One so afraid of being burned as you are shouldn't play with fire.
Oh, I know. I couldn't help myself. I'd never met a gentleman like you before.
Thank you.
Olaf would kill us if he knew. You don't understand his kind like I do. I was born in this country, but I'm Swedish too and know my people. You think men like Olaf are dumb, but they're not. And they're only easygoing until they learn someone's doing things against them.
But that's what gives this game its zest.
I'm just a game to you.
Of course not. I love you devotedly. Why, thanks to you, I've only been slightly bored. You've provided a new sensation.
Oh, you're so different from other men. I don't understand you, but I'm crazy about you, Neil. Oh, who's there?
Mr. Redding.
Oh, it's only a butler.
Who did you think it was? What do you want, Warden?
I must see you at once, sir.
All right, come in. What's the matter? Why the excitement?
The big Swedish man, sir. Your model.
Oh,
Shut up. What about him?
He was just at the door, sir, inquiring for this lady.
no one here?
He said he had reason to believe you were here, madam. I was able to allay his suspicions and send him away. But there was a nasty look in his eyes, though.
Oh, he knows, Neil. He'll kill us both.
He doesn't know, or Borden wouldn't have been able to get rid of him. The game becomes more interesting.
Oh, I am just a game to you. Everything is.
Borden, have Peters draw all the curtains on the limousine and bring it to the carriage door for Miss Geilenborn.
At once, sir.
If Olaf's still hanging around, you'll be in that car and away before he has time to investigate. But we mustn't see one another again, Hedvig, until after this statue is cast.
Until after the statue...
Then there'll be no danger. Loki always bested Thor by striking first.
I don't understand you.
I'm planning an, as yet, untried sensation. One that Mr. Bingham suggested the day I met you. Olaf and I will play a little game, and Olaf is sure to lose. So, Olaf, the joke's on you again.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Redding, you are right. I got no brains. I've been so ashamed to suspect bad things about you and Hedvig.
I forgive you.
But I cannot forgive myself. Mr. Redding, I looked for you to kill you with my two bare hands.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't find me until after you'd cooled down and heard my explanation. For those hands of yours could tear a little chap like me to pieces.
Oh, I've been so ashamed.
It's all over now. Forget it. There's the foundry, Olaf. Hear the furnace roar?
It's been awful good of you to bring me here.
You and I created that statue of Thor together, and I couldn't let it be cast in bronze without you there to see.
I've been terrible excited.
I'll make sure you don't miss a thing. Hello, Brody.
Good morning to you, Mr. Redding.
Have you got everything ready?
Aye, and the mold of your fine statues waiting ready in the pit, sir. When you say the word, we draw the channel plug and let the molten metal run.
The bronze has already reached the liquid state.
Yes, sir. I timed it for the hour you said you'd be here. Shall I draw the plugs now?
Not just yet. My friend here has never seen a statue cast. I want to show him around first. You and the boys get outside and have a smoke. I'll call you when I want you.
Much obliged, sir. A breath of outside air will help a wee bit. Come on, lads. Walk up.
We'll go up on the bridge above the furnace, Olaf.
Why, you mean it's been hot in here.
It'll be hotter where I'm taking you. Up these iron stairs, Olaf.
I come.
In that pit is the mold of our statue. You'll see that later. It's connected by channels to this furnace. This is called a reverberating furnace, Olaf. The fire is at that end, below the chimney. Under this long brick roof, the molten metal lies. It's very hot under that roof, Olaf.
I bet you. It's been plenty hot up here.
We're just above the roof now. From this bridge, the cold bronze is thrown into those hoppers and down into the charging holes.
What been charging holes?
I'll show you. This lever controls their covering.
My, such heat!
With the cover out, you can realize how hot it is inside. Underneath that hole is a trough of molten metal.
Jumping Yemeni!
And that hole is just large enough to admit a strong man's body. Good thing to know if you ever want to commit a perfect murder.
You've been always joking, but I don't want to commit no murder. Close up that hole, it been too hot.
Look over the rail and see before I close it up.
I've been too hot to come so close.
Aren't you interested in the casting of your statue?
Yeah, that's right. I got to look.
Lean over the rail. Here, just above the hopper.
I've been dizzy from this heat. I'm afraid I lose my balance.
I won't let you lose your balance. Lean over the rail, Olaf. That's right. And now, you brainless fool!
You tripped my legs! Don't push! I fall! Don't wait, hot metal!
The joke's on you again, my friend. What's that, Captain? Matter? We heard an awful scream. Scream? Oh, I have the charging hole open. The furnace roared so loud I called for you at the top of my lungs. You scream? You calling me? Yes. Let me replace this cover so we can talk in a normal tone. There. That's better.
Where's that friend you had with you, Mr. Redden?
It was too hot in here for him. He just went out the other door. Said he was going back to town.
Did you call for us to pull the plugs new?
Yes. But with that hole open, I may have cooled off the metal a bit. Better heap up the fire, Brody, and give it another 5 minutes to make absolutely certain everything will be all right. Then let the metal run into the mold.
Just as you say, sir. Come on, lad. Keep up that fire now.
Wonder if my statue of Thor will have what all my other works lack. I've given it what Arnold calls a soul. Awfully good of you, Arnold, to come and help me break off this mold.
Oh, not at all. You know how curious I am to see the statue in finished bronze.
The casting went off without a single hitch. I'm sure the finished work will satisfy our fondest expectations. And I expect much, Arnold. I took your former criticisms to heart. I really labored to give old Thor a soul.
I can't imagine you laboring at anything.
That's because you don't know me so well as you think you do.
Wonder why Olaf's not here. I didn't think anything could keep him away when his statue reached completion.
Yes, his statue. I'm worried about Olaf. You know, they tell me at his boarding house that he hasn't been seen since the day I took him to the foundry.
Doesn't Hedvig know where he is?
She hasn't the vaguest idea. No one has, apparently. He's completely disappeared.
That's funny. I imagine he'll turn up. He may be off on a drunk somewhere. You'll never lose a chap like Olaf.
No. It wouldn't be justice for anything tragic to happen to him. And you believe in justice, Arnold?
I told you I ceased to believe in it. Because nothing ever happens to you.
Yes, I remember. We have the head mold completely loosened now. Help me take it off and we'll expose the face. Careful of the surface underneath. Now.
I got it. There it goes. Neil.
God!
That face is Olaf's. I thought you used another model for the head.
I did! That's not the face of Thor I made.
Well, then, what happened in the casting? Man, you're pale, you're shaking. What's the matter?
Nothing. Arnold, does it seem to you that statue's eyes are moving?
Yes. They seem to follow you. That bronze face seems alive.
You're imagining things about that statue, Arnold. Olaf's face is the one I muddled on it, and those eyes don't seem to move.
You're lying, Neil. The first shock's over now, and you're pulling your nerves together, but you've given yourself away. You turned ghastly white when first you looked on that copper face. You're trembling now with fear. You still can feel those eyes on you.
You're mad. Metal eyes can't move. What reason have I to be afraid?
I'd know that better if Olaf's disappearance was explained. You were with him last. What did you do with him?
I didn't do anything with him. If you're insinuating I killed him, explain what I did with the body. That's the thing you've got to find when you accuse a man of murder. Find that. Find that.
I'm going to the police. Perhaps they'll help me find it.
Call them if you like. They can't prove anything. No one can prove anything. Nothing can harm me. Nothing. Now get out of here. Leave me alone so I can think.
I don't know why or how you killed that man, but I know that when you did it, you believed justice could be cheated. I'm beginning to believe in justice again, and so are you.
Get out, you fool. Get out. Get out.
I'm going to leave you with your conscience and that statue's knowing eyes.
Get out. Get out. Get out. Oh, God. Olaf's face instead of the one I modeled. Maybe his soul is in that statue. Oh, no, that's rot. But those eyes, my back turned, but I can feel them on me. Thor never proved a match for Loki until Odin came to his aid with thunderbolts of justice. Ah, that's madness. Oh! It must be Colonel Rain. It is thundering. Just natural thunder. What's that? What's that? Who's there?
Miss Geilenborg is calling, sir. This way, miss.
Neil, dear.
Come in. Borden, leave us.
Yes, sir.
You're not angry because I'm here, Neil. You told me not to come again until the statue was finished. I couldn't stay away any longer. It seemed I just had to be with you.
Why did it seem that way? Why?
Because I was lonesome for you, I suppose.
Yes, of course, that was it. It wasn't because he wanted us together.
He? What do you mean?
Nothing.
Neil, have you heard from Olaf?
Yes, I heard from him today.
Where is he?
He's where he can't hurt me. Can't hurt me. I'm glad you came. I didn't want to be alone. And the statue's finished, Hedvig.
Is that it there?
Yes.
Why haven't you taken off the mold?
I have from the face. The body is still held prisoner.
I want to see it.
No. Don't go near it. Don't look at its face. Don't let its eyes see you.
Neil, what's the matter?
Nothing.
You haven't even kissed me yet.
I'll kiss you now. I'm not afraid. Oh!
Why did you push me away?
That thunder startled me.
Thunder?
Yes. There must be quite a storm outside.
The sun was shining when I came in. I heard no thunder.
You heard no...
No.
Then it's in this room. Ah, it's coming from the statue.
The statue?
Look!
What?
The mold is cracking. It's falling from the bronze.
Oh, the statue is moving. Oh, it has all the face.
And it has all that soul. I put it there. Hey, Thor the Thunderer. He waited to repay till you and I were here together.
Oh, it's coming towards us.
His eyes are on me. I can't move.
It's raging on its arms.
For me.
And for me.
It's cracking. It seems, Olaf, the joke's on me. At last.
Well, that's the end of that one, Satan. And the moral is, don't get too fresh with great big Swedes. You folks come see us on my birthday, and we'll have another cheerful yarn to finish.
Okay, everybody, bear with me. We're going to be switching over to the Black Museum episodes now. So we're going to stop this here for a few moments. We'll be right back. Just hang in there. Just refresh your browser, and the radio stream will be continuing with the Black Museum, which is episodes of radio drama episodes taken from cases from England's Scotland Yard. So we'll be back.